people are coming for Marvel's throat, but not under Elizabeth Olsen's watch. The MCU has come under criticism, particularly from Martin Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola, who claim that the Marvel movies seem like a lower form of art. Olsen's got some tasteful responses for MCU critics. Stay tuned to find out more. First up, frustrating remarks. You know that one guy who thinks he has the most intellectual, edgy takes, the gatekeepers of good cinema? Turns out even legendary filmmakers show signs of that sort of superiority complex. After WandaVision, and now Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, we believe Elizabeth Olsen is one of Marvel's most popular actors right now. She has come a long way in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, from appearing in a post-credits cameo in 2014's Captain America: The Winter Soldier to starring in one of the most popular Disney Plus programs to date. While MCU films constantly break box office records and have a large following, they're occasionally criticized by other filmmakers and critics who believe they are inferior to other types of films. In an interview with Empire magazine in 2019, director Martin Scorsese said that Marvel films cannot be claimed as cinema. In some weird metaphor that flew over our heads, he compared the film to theme parks, saying the actors seem to be doing their best at what they have at hand, but there's no actual substance. To him, the MCU doesn't deliver films about people attempting to communicate their emotional and psychological experiences to another person. To him, it's all fanfare. Elizabeth Olsen has heard enough of these takes and is no longer hiding her frustration. Recently, she said that while she understands some of the POVs, she's irritated when the MCU is classified as having no artistic merit. The take is far from the truth and takes away from the cast and crew who put their heart and soul into creating the movies. Elizabeth was full of praise for her crew, saying that she's lucky to have worked with the most wonderful set designers, costume designers, and camera operators. So naturally, when legendary filmmakers make those digs at the MCU, it devalues all of the other people who work on these projects and make these award-winning films. Olsen, who rose to prominence as an indie darling in films like Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene in 2011, agrees that the MCU is dominated by movies meant to generate money, but that doesn't imply they're awful. And now, others chime in. Boomers have been having a field day with this. Director Francis Ford Coppola agreed with Scorsese, adding, "When Martin stated it wasn't cinema, he was being generous. He didn't say it was horrible, which is what I believe." The audacity, y'all. That's not all, though. He went on to label Marvel films as prototypes manufactured over and over again to look different. Clearly, he isn't the first to criticize MCU, and he won't be the last. It feeds the internet outrage economy, and retired filmmakers are the only ones brave or jobless enough to speak out against it. Coppola's criticism of Marvel, and pricey studio blockbusters in general, boiled down to the franchise's lack of personality, and his argument that as a result, specific creative visions are being lost. He believes that if someone makes art, it's going to be personal. Anyone who noticed Ryan Fleck, Anna Boden, Destin Daniel Cretton, and Chloe Zhao's distinct storytelling on Captain Marvel, Shang-Chi, and Eternals can mail Mr. Coppola a letter of protest over these statements. Or we will. Coppola went off the rails a little with his argument that Denis Villeneuve's Dune and Cary Fukunaga's No Time to Die were basically the same things. We're honestly confused as to whether Coppola has even seen Dune, which is artistically and narratively unique. He's also 82, so he's probably just making a point by pulling random movie names out of thin air. It seems a little rich that two directors who earned their reputations churning out a seemingly endless stream of gangster movies while they were fashionable are now pointing the finger at the next trendy genre. But we understand that studios and theater chains make what is popular, whether it's noir capers from the 1940s and 1950s, westerns from the 1950s and 1960s, Scorsese and Coppola-led gangster films from the 1970s and 1980s, or now superhero movies. To be honest, Scorsese and Coppola could have done miracles with some movies if they were in control, like The Punisher, Jessica Jones, and Misty Knight, or if they want to focus on villains and storylines centered on Kingpin and Hammerhead would be right up their alley. Could you guys imagine that though? Next, we have Defending Marvel. Olsen isn't the only actor who has defended the MCU and superhero movies in general. In a recent interview, Nicolas Cage has come out in support of Marvel films, stating that he is baffled by the conflict. He revealed his feelings about the franchise's criticism, saying that he doesn't understand why people dislike it. By the way, you all know Coppola is his uncle, right? Cage calls himself a fan of comic books, who's always thought the stories were extremely colorful and wholesome. Like a true live and let live trooper, Cage contradicted his uncle and said he didn't understand why some people go after the movies when they are so enjoyable to others. Following the remarks by Scorsese Scorsese and Coppola, a number of Marvel Cinematic Universe actors and directors, including Tom Holland and director James Gunn, responded by defending the superhero film genre. While Marvel movies have been recognized for their behind-the-scenes work since the beginning, getting nominated in the big categories at the Oscars is still rare. However, Black Panther broke the curse with its Best Picture nomination and the 3 awards it scooped up in 2019. Iron Man also received Academy Award nominations for Best Sound Editing and Best Visual Effects in 2009 while competing against cinema films. While it's true that some filmmakers have had a harder time convincing companies to produce their work, movies are for everyone. The ability to reach such a large audience is what makes superhero movies so popular. So if it's not your cup of tea, take a sip of something else. Next, in other related news, what's next for the MCU? With the release of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Marvel Studios has concocted even more multiversal mayhem, including dreamwalking, a plethora of variants, and the debut of America Chavez. The creative team behind Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness spoke about the multiverse's potential and the many possibilities it brings to the table for future MCU storylines in an official press release. According to Elizabeth Olsen, the film creates quite a gigantic Pandora's box of unlimited possibilities, which will undoubtedly have an impact on the Marvel Cinematic Universe's future. The Multiverse of Madness isn't the first time enthusiasts have visited another universe. Marvel now has a walking, talking, multiversal doorway at their disposal to utilize whenever they want, thanks to America Chavez's inclusion in the MCU. Flashbacks of Spider-Man No Way Home, anyone? In terms of where it all might be going, the most important multiverse story is certainly Secret Wars, which appears to be a future event that Marvel Studios is striving for. Guess we have to wait to find out more. Was that a tease for Midnight Suns? Marvel fans are always trying to find the Easter eggs hidden in their trailers and post-credit scenes. Those who are particularly interested in Marvel's mystic and perhaps scary side will be keeping a watch on rumors surrounding the MCU's Midnight Suns. While Multiverse of Madness didn't openly reveal any new information about the Midnight Suns, it did make things easier by reducing the possibilities. We got some insight into who would be in command. Yep, you guessed it right, Nick Fury for the Avengers. The Master of the Mystic Arts departs into the Dark Dimension alongside Clea, a character with a lengthy history with the Sorcerer Supreme in the film's post-credits scene. Strange doesn't appear to be in a position to be the Sun's man in the chair, so who could it be? At the top of many fans' lists of prospective Midnight Suns members, it's one of the MCU's OG members, Eric Brooks, aka Blade. The Midnight Suns could make an appearance to continue Marvel's horror-themed series, which began with Moon Knight and Multiverse of Madness and will continue with the upcoming Halloween special Marvel Zombies and Blade. While no release date has been revealed, Marvel horror fans should keep an eye out for the Halloween special in October. Disney's accidental reveal. She-Hulk will launch on Wednesday, August 17th, according to an apparently inadvertent post on the official Disney website in the UK. The premiere will air 5 weeks after the Ms. Marvel finale and just under 6 weeks after Thor: Love and Thunder hits the theaters. Marvel Studios usually advertises its release dates through high-profile outlets, such as a widely distributed trailer or a huge event. So when the She-Hulk release date was revealed in such an unusual manner, it's making it almost obvious that it was an accident. We're not complaining. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think the MCU criticism is valid? Is ignoring the critics the best way to deal with it? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.